I think the first thing you have to do is decide what the business is and what you're trying to accomplish. We found a void, and there was a lack of particular service in Memphis, Tennessee. And so we put together a group and tried to fill that void. That's what you have to do, is know you have a market, something you can sell and you can provide a service.
Adams Keegan is a human resource outsourcing firm. Our clients are small and mid-sized businesses, and we provide services that allow them to really focus on their core business and get them out of being concerned with a lot of the transactional duties that are required of an employer, and then we also provide them guidance with respect to employment law compliance. I've heard before, every company has a culture. You either create it or your employees create it for you. We worked hard to create a culture early on, and it's still here today, and Jay Keegan, Jim's son, and my current partner in the business, does an outstanding job of maintaining our cultures. Do the right thing even when nobody's looking, and then try to create a family environment. For us, that has provided some measure of success.
Entrepreneurs also provide a dream. They imagine what can be done, and by imagining what can be done, they go out and try and execute what their dreams are. And I think this is what makes some small things grow into very large things. You learn, you grow a business by seeing what other people do, and you learn from their mistakes and learn from their successes, and that we apply those things.
On a very personal level, I had been a corporate guy. I'd been with Scott Paper Company and Pepsi USA back in the 80s, and when you had those jobs, you were transferred all over the country. And so I was at this point in my career where it was time to be moved again, and my wife said, "I'm going to miss you." And so I truly went in search of a business to get involved in, and found what back then was called the employee leasing business, but it's HR outsourcing. And so that was the path that got me here.
My first job, I think, was I swept floors in a grocery store, but that's I learned I didn't want to be a floor sweeper. And that was pretty easy to come to that conclusion. But after I graduated from college, I went in the Air Force and spent 6 years in the Air Force flying airplanes. What I observed in 6 years in the Air Force, I observed some good managers and some not so good managers. And I think during that process, while I was enjoying being 20 years old, I realized I couldn't do that the rest of my life. I went to work for a colonel who was a very wise man, but he set me down early in life and said, "Son, if you can get very far in this organization, you have to have a sponsor. Without a sponsor, you're just a number. All these numbers will pass by and you can flow by just like water under a bridge." He says, and so what you have to do is find someone who will look after you, has an interest in you, and guide you when you need assistance.
Jim worked side by side with me, for many years, and was just so appreciated and valuable. And to have that sort of guidance and mentorship along the way is priceless. I was 30 years old when I met him. I had a full head of hair. So it was a long time ago, and a lot of lessons learned. And Memphis is a bit of an underdog town. It's in my 30 years or so I've been here, it has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. It's always trying to prove itself, and that, for me, translates into the business community. And so there's an independence and a bit of a tenacious attitude that I've seen in the Memphis business economy. And so if you combine that with some guidance, which there is an ample supply of that around here, and just some prudence, then it gives you the opportunity to have the type of environment you're talking about where small businesses can succeed.